Hey yo, E-King's Fight News. And when it comes to the heavyweight division, if you're Deontay Wilder, how are you gonna beat Tyson Fury if you don't respect the game? If you don't respect the sweet science of boxing? When Deontay Wilder says in the heavyweight division, you don't need skills, that's how you end up losing to a guy named Tyson Fury. It's E-King Fight News, and we got more on this. Let's get it. Now what I'm talking about is, if Deontay Wilder is gonna beat Tyson Fury, he's gotta respect the game. He's gotta respect the fundamentals. He's gotta respect the jab. He's gotta respect going to the body. You know, he's gotta respect putting in the work in the gym. Because everything he did leading up to Tyson Fury, both fights, he disrespected the game. And I'm gonna tell you why. All that talk about he's gotta be perfect for only 10 seconds and the whole fight don't matter, that's gibberish. All that means is, I gotta punch his chance no matter what. That's all that means. No matter what, you know, all I need is 10 seconds and maybe, just maybe, I don't even need to really, you know, play the game. I don't really need to learn all them boxing skills y'all talk about, because I got a big right hand. Because I got a right hand that can knock out anybody. Well, that's great up until you fight somebody that can take your right hand. Now tell me I'm lying. All that is great up until you find a guy that can just slip that right hand, you know, enough times. Say he was fighting the heavyweight version of Vitaly Klitschko. Y'all think Deontay Wilder could win that fight? A guy that's got great head movement and a great chin? I don't have to tell you. Klitschko will probably, I'm talking about Vitaly Klitschko. Klitschko would probably smoke him. Just like Tyson Fury did. Now, when you get to hearing this shit like this, man, y'all might get offended, but guess what? If Deontay Wilder doesn't respect boxing, there's a reason why WBC is saying, you know what, his career might be over with. There's a reason why Mauricio Suleiman is saying, Deontay Wilder, if you don't beat Tyson Fury, it's over. It's over. There ain't no more boxing for you. Now, there's a lot that goes into that, but part of it is respecting the game. Part of it is knowing if you're a skilled fighter, if you're a guy that puts his craft first and foremost, guess what? You ain't getting knocked out. You ain't throwing in no towels. You fighting till the end of the line. Right? You fight because you know you can keep going, because you got defense. Because you know you got the skills to keep you in the game no matter what. Deontay Wilder, he doesn't have that right now. He's got one big shot and maybe a half decent jab that he still needs to work on. Because all he's good at doing with the jab is using it as a blinder. I never see him throw the jab with power. I've never seen him do it. I've seen him use the jab to blind his opponents and to hide the right hand, but that's the best he can do with the jab. I've never seen him use it as a power shot. I've never seen him use it to set up a left hook counter or a lead left hook. Maybe he's done that. I swear he's done that a couple times, throwing a lead left hook and whatnot. But you know what? He's got a lot of flaws, man. Wilder got a lot of flaws, and I ain't trying to hate on it. I'm just saying, you know what? He better respect the game now. After the loss, he better respect the game now. Because if he hasn't learned it by now, skills pay the bills. Floyd Mayweather said it for years. It's the skills that pay the bills. It's not nothing else. It was never Floyd Mayweather's power. It was never, Floyd Mayweather's tricks of the trade, dirty fighting. It wasn't the politics that kept Floyd Mayweather ahead of the game. It was the skills, man. It was always the skills. And at the end of the day, if he loses to Tyson Fury, he's going to have to go back to what he was doing years ago. Fighting, the bottom of the top 10, the bottom of the top 20, the bottom of the top 50, or whatever you want to call it, man. If you're Deontay Wilder, you got to respect the game, man. You got to respect the game. Otherwise, you're going to get yourself taken out of the game. That's the dark side of boxing. That's the side that, you know what? Guy like... Let me bring up a guy y'all forgot about, man. It's off the top. There was a guy coming up who was said to be a next great Mexican fighter. His name was Francisco Panchito Bojado. I remember this dude. He was getting in wars left and right. He was making good fights. All the time, people were hyping him up because they thought he could be the next best thing. But I bet maybe half of y'all don't even remember Panchito Bojado. Nobody remembers Francisco Bojado. Because he fought a guy named Jesse James Leija or some shit, and Leija ended up beating his ass. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Jesse James Leija ended up beating his ass. And from there, he lost his confidence. There are other fighters. There are other fighters like this. Time and time again, they get hyped up. They get built up. They think they're above the game. They think they can... their skills don't need improvement, right? It's when you think you don't need to improve. It's when, you're getting gassed up a little too much. You're getting gassed up a little too much, right? And that's where you're actually your most vulnerable state. Is when you don't think you need to improve. Because, y'all know what happened. Any fighter like that, they end up tasting the canvas for the first time. And that just is what it is. So, hey, let me know what you guys think. And this goes into what Deontay Wilder needs to understand before he can even think he can beat Tyson Fury. He needs to understand that he better respect the game. Otherwise, you have Jose Sulaiman talking shit. You got a whole lot of UK fans talking that shit, and they have every right to do so. Because it wasn't nothing to do with it wasn't nothing to do with Deontay Wilder just needed a right hand and it could have been over. Nah, it's not like you can't cash out the referee and say, the referee did a slow count this time. He shouldn't have stopped the fight. No, nobody's saying that shit. You can't say it this time. You can't say it. You got to talk about something way out in left field. Tyson Fury cheated, X, Y, and Z. But you know what? That shit ain't that. You can't say that for a rematch, can you? You can't say that for a third fight, can you? You can't say that shit. You got to win your title back and leave your heart in the ring. If you ain't ready to do that, shit, it might be over for Deontay Wilder. It might be. Now, me personally, I got to see what he brings to the table. Because you never know. You never know with these fighters. You really never know. A guy like Keith Thurman, y'all thought he was the truth. What happened? What happened to Keith Thurman? He ended up losing to Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao's a great fighter, but maybe Keith Thurman should have never lost to that guy. If that was a guy taking the sport absolutely serious, day in, day out. But y'all know what it is. It's E King Fight News. And we gone, man. Peace.